How do you know which currency time frame you should be trading? Let's talk about that and more right now. Hi Forex traders, it's Andrew Mitchem here, owner of the Forex Trading Coach with video and podcast number 268. I want to talk about a really common problem that almost all currency traders go through, and it's all about understanding which time frame chart you should be trading. You see, a lot of people get really confused by this, and they think that they must be needing to trade short time frame charts because that's where the price action is, right? You know, that's what everybody tells you. You need to be trading 5-minute charts and scalping, looking for all these small movements within the overall flow of the day. And a lot of people also get confused with thinking that I can't trade longer time frame charts because the stop loss needs to be too big and I don't have a big enough account size. So there's all these misconceptions there, both which, by the way, are completely wrong. And there are ways around all of these things. So what can you do to select which time frame chart you need to trade? Well, a lot of it comes down to having the ability to be open and flexible and to basically see what's happening in the market right now, because no one really knows, like next week, what's going to happen. No one knows. You know, you can have predictions and economists and all these type of things going on, but really nobody knows what's going to happen. All we can do is see what's happening right now. So to give you a great example, so today is Friday. Oh, it's Friday the 13th. It's Friday the 13th of April 2018 when I'm recording this right now. This last week has been very, very poor for trading the daily charts. There have been very few setups. Now, I love trading the daily charts and I post daily chart setups to my clients on our membership site, and there have been very few this week. So it's not to say that everybody's missed out, it's to say that the daily charts, for whatever reason, and it's quite rare, but for whatever reason, have not produced very many high quality setups this week. Also, the weekly charts this week on Monday, there were no suitable, in my opinion, weekly chart setups. Now, the weekly charts is less surprising because last week was Easter, and then on last Friday we had the US monthly job report, so not a lot happened last week. So I can understand the weekly charts for this particular week not showing a great deal. However, it's been quite an unusual week in that the daily charts, the longer time frames, have not shown much also. However, I took a webinar last night. I had a live 2-hour webinar with my clients like I do every 2 weeks. And by the way, every week in between, Paul Tillman holds the US webinar session. So clients get a weekly 2-hour webinar. But last night I held a webinar, 2 hours long. And on that webinar, I showed many, many great examples from just this week of the 6-hour chart trades showing some very good quality setups. And also in general, it was the commodity currencies, the New Zealand dollar, the Canadian dollar, the Aussie dollar, that this week, for whatever reason, showed more high quality setups than most of the other, like the euro and the pound and the yen and the franc. All those sort of currencies didn't really show as many good setups. So this week was definitely a week to be trading the commodity currencies. But of course, earlier in the week, you wouldn't have known that. It's only what you see at the time right now that you can then take those trades. And also on that webinar, I took a fantastic buy trade on the New Zealand yen on a 4-hour chart. It hit the profit target within under 1 bar, so in under 4 hours, and it made a 1.8 to 1 reward to risk, or 0.5% risk on that trade, 0.9% account gain. And it happened while I was on the live webinar. I also took a sell trade on the Euro New Zealand dollar on a 15-minute time frame chart, and that made a 1.2 to 1 reward to risk, or in other words, 0.5% risk, 0.6% account gain. So on that webinar, in front of my clients live while they were watching, we had 2 trades closed for profit, and the 0.9 and the 0.6% gain, 0.5% risk on each, made us a 1.5% account gain just on those 2 trades. The 15-minute chart trade took, I think it was 25 or 28 minutes to hit the full profit from when I took it live to when it exited for the full profit. So 1.5% account gain just on those 2 trades. Now that was a 4-hour chart trade and a 15-minute time frame chart. Both involved New Zealand dollar, by the way, which, as I already said, was showing good trades. The commodity currencies showing particularly good setups for this week. So it shows what can be done when you're selective and when you don't force yourself to stick to one time frame chart. Like, don't just say, I'm going to trade the 1-hour charts. Well, maybe the 1-hour charts aren't showing particularly good setups. You know, I'm going to trade just the daily charts. Well, again, this week you wouldn't have taken very much. And if that's all you want to do, that's absolutely fine. Look, when I'm traveling, I trade just the longer time frame charts and that's it. But this week I'm at home and I saw that great setup on the 4-hour chart and the 15-minute chart whilst on the live webinar. 2 excellent trades, 2 worked out beautifully. So it's all about understanding what's happening in the market right now, which currencies and which time frame charts are showing good setups at the time. And really that does come down to having the ability to scan through different time frame charts. The way I trade, I only look for a new trade at the close of a candle anyway. So with the 4-hour charts, for instance, it was really simple. I wasn't even at my computer when the 4-hour chart closed. As I was preparing for the webinar, I saw that the price had pulled back to my retracement entry level, and I just simply took a market order, whereas normally on the close of a candle I would have taken the retracement order. Both would have got filled at the same price, obviously, and both would have hit the profit target. It's just that on that particular occasion I was taking the market order because the price had already pulled back on a buy trade. So if that interests you, you need to be on my live webinar this coming week. It's going to be on Thursday the 19th of April or Wednesday the 18th of April if you live in Europe or the US. I will put a link below this video and podcast. It's going to be a live webinar with myself and Paul Tillman. Make sure you're on it. It's going to be a great opportunity. I don't do these very often, just free for the public webinars. It's a great opportunity to ask questions and see how we trade. So once again, this is Andrew Mitchem, owner of the Forex Trading Coach. I'll see you this time next week with some more Forex news, tips and information. See you then. Bye.